everybody. How's it going? Oh boy. Let's see. Oops, lost chat for a second. Yeah, I'm here. It's back. We're doing more Danganronpa, more this game. How's everybody doing? How's the volume and sorry I'm late by the way. But yeah, let me know if the volume is too loud or too quiet or whatnot. Yeah, I guess I'm good. If no one's saying anything, I think I'm live, right? Nope, my mic was there. Oh, there's no game audio. Well, there's no game audio right now because it's there. Okay, well, it says desktop audio is there, and I mean maybe it's just too quiet. Oh wait, why is it? Hold on. Oh, there it goes. Why is it like that? Huh. Whatever. I'll just have to deal with it as we go. Um, sorry, just trying to see what the stream is doing to the game audio. Okay, it looks fine. It looks fine. But I don't actually know. And if it's too loud, it's we don't want that. All right. But yeah, I didn't stream on Wednesday. I was planning on it, but then I just ended up not feeling like it. Because I couldn't do Tuesday, because I recorded the what's it called, the second episode of the Bleach podcast with Hot Boy Spicy. Let's see. What else can I talk about? I am trying to get better because like I noticed I was thinking about my older streams where I played games that weren't at reading heavy because I was able to like play those while talking. Um, and because I noticed last time I was talking or playing, I really wasn't doing a lot of both. Um, and this game's gonna take fucking forever to get through. um, like it's like 25, 30 hours just playing it. So if I spend half my time talking, it's literally going to take me like 60 hours to finish. No one's posting chat, so I don't know if anyone's... Oh, I guess people are here. Oh well, I don't know. Maybe chat's just being weird for me. Oh, let's see. But yeah, I'm still a little worried because like with the prologue, I felt like I didn't have as much to add that was about the game itself necessarily. And right now I'm just like, yep, the characters are talking about stuff that I, very much am fully aware of. Like I'm fully aware of their characters and the characterization. So I just like, I don't know. I just I expect I'll still finish the game, but there's definitely the possibility that if I'm not feeling it after like a trial or two, I might just finish it on my own and stream other things. Because I still want to keep streaming once a week, but because I still have to finish the video rewatching, um, and oh, my old video ideas. Going through those and seeing which ones are still, you know, potentially worthwhile. Yeah. Sorry, something funny just made me laugh about the sound effect. All right. I guess I can speedrun it. Because it's like, yeah, I already know many things about like everything here. Monica Metal. At least until I get to talking to a fucking human character. Bathroom. Did I do the bathroom already? Maybe I missed that. I missed something. Oh, drawer. Okay. Oh, I know what I missed. Okay. Someone give me something to talk about. Or I'm gonna lose my mind.
ごめん、大丈夫？いえ、私の方こそごめんなさい。植木くん、よかった。ですね。ですね。
Any Danganronpa inspired games that you've been interested in? I mean, I don't really know how many there are. Oh, that's right. There was one I brought up in my V3 video that I completely forgot what it was called, and I don't know if it ever came out, let alone in English. Because I feel like it would, you know, because I did mention how I was kind of interested in how the sort of legacy of Danganronpa would go after V3, considering, you know, the clear messaging about taking in you know, the lies and the truth, and just taking influence from Danganronpa, but doing something that isn't so beholden to it in a sense. And he's continuing on. Like I have my eyes on World End Club and Rain Code. And I just saw on Twitter there's going to be another project announced, like a collab with him and Uchikochi, who I'm also interested in going back to, because I played Zero Escape years ago. Is it Your Turn to Die? Oh, is that might have been the one. I'd have to look it up. I'll write that down for myself. Okay, cool. It's there. Yeah, just literally just from the first. Oh yeah, I think that might be the one. There, maybe I was thinking of a different one. I don't know. It's been a while. Yeah. So no, I haven't really played any, but I have it up, so I'll keep a note up for it myself later. But no, I haven't really, cause like my thing with Danganronpa is Um, oh yeah, Chris. They have the same ability. It's just that Komaida is aware of it and deliberately manipulates it, and Naegi isn't. And what's more important is less about their luck and more about their mindsets in just like living and how that affects how they work in their respective stories, I suppose. So yeah. But what was I saying? So yeah, because it's like yeah, I made the V3 video and I was like, I'm interested in seeing Legacy of Danganronpa, and because it's like it's technically ongoing question mark because again I mentioned last time there's supposed to be an ultra they were doing a call for an Ultra Spare Girls 2 back closer to when V3 came out and literally nothing has come out of that, so I'm just for now I'm just gonna assume it's just a dead project. It's just like never it's and that we're not actually gonna get a new Danganronpa thing. I mean, technically we did get Danganronpa S, which is very much like a spin-off, inconsequential thing. I have it on Switch. I haven't played that much of it. Um, um, so, what was I gonna say? So yeah, and then after I played V3 and did those videos, I replayed everything a couple years ago, and for one video, I guess I won't say final Danganronpa video because God knows if I'll have. I mean, I feel like I don't know what I'd have to say about it. I guess maybe it wouldn't be a unique specific Danganronpa video, but I don't know. I feel like it would involve more than just like the Danganronpa properties, like yeah, some of the other follow-up games by either Kodaka or something else. But what was this thing? Yeah, so but yeah, I never really got into like because I was also I was talking about like last time about how I'm interested in the influences as well, like some of the Kill the Past games, but I just haven't Ace Attorney as a somewhat similar in a couple respects game, but I just never got around to it. There's like like a few days ago I started Moral Oral. I mentioned I was talking about it on the Weeb Club yesterday. I've had that thing on my backlog for like over 10 years, and I just never got around to playing it, or watching it rather. I'm still stuck in video games in my brain, and it's not even a long show. It's like 40 half-length episodes. There's no reason for me to not have watched it by now, except that I just haven't gotten around to it, even though I was interested in it. And now I'm finally watching it, and it's just like, I don't know, it takes me forever. I really need, because my problem is I just keep starting things, and not like individual things. I'm talking like big, like I'll rewatch every anime that I've ever get a 9 or higher to, and I'm interested in doing that same with manga and video games and movies, and then these personal like goals have just become bigger and bigger, and I get so caught up in them that I should finish these before I do other things, and I just never get around to doing the other things, or sometimes even finishing. But like honestly, what I can't even say, I finally finished something. I did all my manga reread because I'm technically not done because I still need to reread Nisekoi and finish Bleach. So I'm almost done. I'm almost there, but I'm still technically not done. And I have what's it called? Wow, my brain just. Oh no, one of my earlier goals when I got into anime, there was like I had recommendation charts, and I just what's it called? I was like, I'm gonna watch all of these, and I watched the first row, and I found some really cool stuff, and then I never finished it. I still to this day have that in the back of my mind. It's like, man, remember 11 and a half years ago when I decided I was gonna watch this whole recommendation chart? Part of me, and technically I've been picking away at it very, very slowly. Like there's stuff on it that I've watched since that happens to be on the chart, but it was made in like the early 2010s, so there's a lot of like 2000s titles and earlier that nowadays nobody fucking talks about. I don't think I've ever heard anyone bring up like fucking Heroic Age. Like it's just a story that probably still has some people who really like it. I don't know where they are. Probably not in AniTube. Thoughts on the gameplay of the Trials? I haven't played any yet, so I don't have any new ones, new thoughts or ideas. Oh, right, the clock. I don't know if I'll have new thoughts. I do remember one, I guess, like, was it the storyteller or someone? I forget. It was a while ago, but I just remember hearing a critique in that, like, the gameplay of the trials doesn't actually help you solve the mystery necessarily, and I don't have another, like, comparison point because he was a fan of Ace Attorney, so that I don't know, but that's again, I haven't played another game that does the murder mystery like, okay, technically I played LA Noir, but that's so different, and it was so long ago, and also my computer wasn't good, so it didn't run very well at all. Yeah. And yeah, Persian. I don't know about a fighting game. I remember people talking about a fighting game as if like, oh, this would be a cool, because it's like the character designs are so just like instantly recognizable and distinct from each other that it kind, and the fact that you have characters who fight in the story like Sakura or Owari Akane in Danganronpa 2, like it definitely lends itself to that kind of a game, and I could see it being, a little fun. I wouldn't be super like, oh god, it's gonna get competitive. I mean, a Danganronpa fighting game being like a fucking competitive Evo title would be amazing. Like that would be. I wouldn't be very good. I haven't really gotten to fighting games yet. I'm kind of interested in trying and seeing like, well, how, because my thing is like, part of me is like, oh, I don't like games where I just do the same things over and over again, but that's a lie because I like Monster Hunter and I literally just go into the same hunts and fight the same monsters again and again and again. So that's obviously, I like RPGs. So no, I definitely like, I'm fine with a competitive game, but I guess like the difference between like Monster Hunter and RPG is like you're always making some kind of progress. Basically, like you're always getting monster parts, or a new height size record, or you're finishing a mission. In RPGs, you're always getting stats and experience, right? So there's no, with a fighting game, you're only gaining very personal experience. So it's very easy to feel like I'm not gaining anything. So I don't know, like I played the closest thing to a fighting game I guess it's a fight, people consider it a fighting game, Super Smash Brothers, and it's like, but that's not like super technical. Like you can accomplish the challenge, and it's like 95% of it has been single play, not 95, because I played a lot with my brother. um but even with Smash, it's like, I think it was like after Melee, I've just kind of had diminishing returns with every Smash title since. But like again, I wouldn't say my skills there are transferable in any way to fighting games. Like if anything, they kind of ruin me because like in Smash, I would tend to just stay in air a lot. Like or jumping and air game is very important to Smash in a way that like when I remember playing Street Fighter 4, I had a tendency to jump a lot, and it wasn't a good idea. Like it's not good to jump a lot in Street Fighter, because of it's a valid tactic, but it's not like in Smash. It's over half, if not more, of the game I think is being in the air, or like edge guarding. Like so much of the game takes place in the air compared to like Street Fighter, where it's a much smaller point. So like having so much Smash experience sort of like affected me negatively when I tried to play Street Fighter 4. So I've never really gone back to a fighting. I literally haven't seriously tried a fighting game since Street Fighter 4. So I would be interested. Like I think, yeah. I mean, if Danganronpa Fighter comes out, like it's over. I'll try it. I was slightly interested in like I think the Nicktoons one, because it was like, oh, it's like Smash Brothers Melee. Like the staff clearly has an influence there, and I just never got it. Because I feel like I'd also want to be playing a fighting game with other people. And like I have a group of friends. I know like Vindy's really into fighting games, but I'm not, I guess. And I don't know if that's like, one person is cool, but that's only one person to play. Like having a small group to play with is a bit different, but I don't know. I feel like Street Fighter 6 would have been the chance to get into that, but I just didn't have the time or money to feel like getting into it, basically. So I don't know. Yeah, Persian mentioning how like you just hit like a playing or watching something and then you'll just stop. I don't really know how to get over that, because for me it's been something that I don't have to deal with, basically. Or it's not like I don't have to deal with it. don't have that issue because I've just become really good. Finishing things is a skill. And I think it's easy to not think about it like that because it's a hobby, right? It's something like, we're not getting paid to watch anime, right? We're just it's a hobby. We're into it. We watch what we feel like, and that's fine, right? And obviously, like, sometimes it's probably not a good idea to finish something. Like Caribou Kun did a whole video with Lupin the Third. Good video. Where he's basically talking about how, like, yeah, there's a lot of stuff in there that he really likes, but most of it is just kind of mid, and it's not doing a lot of cool or interesting or new things. It's not visually interesting. Like, it's just mid-pawn is the term he came up with it, right? So in his case, completing the full franchise ultimately wasn't worth it for him, and that's kind of what that video is about. But he was able to finish it. Like, and I personally am of the mindset, like, I want to have a personal experience that's my own and not have other people decide for me what I like, whether something's worth my time, because I can find interesting things and things that even if I don't like the thing overall or didn't get that much out of it. Like, if you really want to finish, I don't know. So there is a discipline to it because, like, I've talked with, like, Nun and Vindy a lot of, especially, like, Nun. I remember talking about it because it's like we stopped doing things on the Weeb Club where we haven't done a backlog since, like, 2022 and we really haven't been going through that many things together, like, because it's like there was just so many times I've been burned because it's like, hey, let's all watch or play this thing or read it, and then I do it, and then it take them fucking forever to get around to it, and it's like, well, okay, so I just kind of stopped because I like going through things with other people and talking about them, but it ends up wasting my time when it takes so long for us to have a discussion that it's like, oh yeah, that thing, I remember watching it. I've gone through like 50 things since then. Hopefully I can remember enough to have a meaningful discussion. But because I am good at, but so what I try to say is, like, yeah, it is a job, especially, I mean, in our cases, we're doing it for YouTube, we're doing it for content. So yeah, finishing things becomes a job, especially if you don't like it. But what was I trying to say there is, like, I have that skill, and it really just takes discipline, and I don't know how necessarily, like, train discipline because it's such a mindset heavy thing, and it's fucking watching anime or playing video games. It's not like important, right? Like, if you're gonna get better at something, like, why not get better at something important? But I don't know, what helps me is I like doing daily quotas or dailies. So, like, one of my dailies right now is because I have the goal of playing all the Megami Tensei games up to, okay, not all of them, but I want to play Shin Megami Tensei Nocturne, Shin Megami Tensei 3 Nocturne this year. And so I, like, looked at all the games I have to play, excluding the ones that aren't translated. I basically did the math, and I have some leeway, but basically if I play an hour of a Shin Megami Tensei game a day, I can play Shin Megami Tensei 3 by the end of the year. So there's or say my anime rewatch, like, actually, since there's one of the longer shows I might watch with Hot Boy Spicy on that podcast, I realized, like, oh, actually, if I did 2 episodes a day, I could finish in 9 months instead of 12 months. So what was I? So I've also kind of realized I'm kind of, like, struggling to focus on things. I'm wondering if maybe I'm just watching so many things with subtitles, like, I don't know, I just noticed my attention drifts a lot, so I'm just going to try and take a large break from subtitled stuff in February and March for the most part. And I can still finish my anime rewatch, so it's just like, I don't know, but I have that skill of being able to do all these things, like watch 2 episodes of, like, what every day. I watch 2 episodes of an anime favorite, like right now it's Sangatsu no Lion. I watch a Disney short because I'm still watching those. I play an hour of a Megami Tensei game. I have a few other things, like writing or related stuff, or I'm trying to, like, Pokemon. I'm trying to catch all the Pokemon in the new Pokemon DLC, but you need the BP from the BBQs, and it's a little tedious playing alone, and I don't have anyone I can play with right now. So I'm just like doing a little bit a day kind of thing until I can finish that Pokedex. So just I don't know. That's what helps me. But I've offered it to people, and it only helps them so much. Because like they'll stop doing it. They'll stop doing their dailies, and then they'll what's it called? They'll just once they stop doing it. Like honestly, I'm kind of in a similar spot with exercise because like watching media is easier to me, but like doing a half an hour of exercise every morning. Uh, Especially I don't feel like I'm good. I don't know what my problem is, but my sleep is not good right now. It hasn't been for a long time because I kind of like I go to bed and then like 6 hours later I'm mentally awake, and I can move my body, but I'm still like physically exhausted, and so I want to just stay in bed longer. But I never really stop getting tired until I like physically get up, and I don't know. I sometimes drift away in the middle of the day too, so it's just like, I have not figured out how to fix that. So it's just hard for me to be like, I'll just get out of bed and start exercising. And also I've been having ants, not like lots of ants, but just like a few ants in my room, and I haven't gotten ant spray yet just to get on the borders to keep them away, because it's just like I don't know. I have a yoga mat, but I still don't like the idea of ants like while I'm on the ground doing push-ups just doesn't. I don't know. Probably trauma's maybe a bit of an extreme word, but I had some encounters with ants that weren't very positive. So I don't know. Whatever. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know how to help. That's just like the closest. That's how it goes for me. But because I don't really know how to offer better strategies than just like do your best and try to do so. If you do a little of something every day, then you actually can finish a larger project that way, and that's that's the best I can say.
ありえなくね。
まあまあ。
あのよかった。
ひど
それってでも
おいこら実際
ちょっと
そな
ふん
というやつは
Oh yeah, and I guess another thing on the dailies is like, it's fine to start smaller, and then like, cause I'm kind of able, like there's still a bunch of stuff I have on my list that I don't do every day, but like doing something is better than doing nothing. So if you start with like I'll watch one episode a day, like one thing Nun did that I liked is he tried to do 2 episodes a day, and then or I don't know if he's still doing it or if he it was an interesting idea. But he'd start out his mornings watching like a lighter-hearted show, and he'd end off his nights watching something darker. Like a hypothetical would be like he's watching Creamy Mommy right now, and he also finished Attack on Titan recently, so that would be an example. Like every morning watch an episode of Creamy Mommy, every evening watch an episode of Attack on Titan. So I don't know, just like, and I guess like if you try to make it fun for yourself, like the worst case, it might become work, and then it won't be fun anymore. But I don't know. I think that's part of the reason why I do podcasts and stuff, because I like talking with people about media. So I like just like the whole thing with Hot Boy Spicy started because we were talking, and it's like, hey, here's some interesting thoughts I have about Bleach, and it was like, whoa, that's really cool. I'm like, hey, I'm gonna reread Bleach next year. Do you want to talk about it? And then boom, we're doing a podcast now, and after we finish Bleach, we're gonna do other stuff. So I don't know what he's gonna choose. I have some ideas, but like, oh, that's a good idea. Yeah. Common saying, so yeah, 7 dailies, one for each weekday. Yeah, that's perfectly valid. Because yeah, then you just do like 1 volume a week. Yeah, so that way you're getting through 7 things a bunch. Yeah, no, because that's kind of why I do so many dailies, because I'm able to get through multiple things just slowly. Oh, one thing I remember doing is oh, that's right, I do have more strategies. There was like 4 things I was going through. It was like a manga and then 3 anime or something like that. And I was into them, but I wasn't like super into them. Like I was just sitting there like I don't know which one I want to do next. So what I did is I just like put them in an arbitrary order, and then I just like watch 1 episode, then 1 episode, then 1 episode, then I'd read something, and then I just keep cycling through that order. So that way there was no choice of like, well, what do I want to do next? Because I already knew, because it's like, okay, I watched an episode of this show, so I'm going to watch an episode of this other show instead, because I don't know, I couldn't binge them for some reason. But so that's one way. Another thing I like to do is so like part of the reason I'm watching Moral Oral is because I have a randomizer where it's basically like, so when I'm not doing my dailies or my work, because I try to do like work on my channels and videos and stuff or podcasts, I call it a focus. So it's like, this is the one piece of media or thing I'm just trying to do with my extra time. So like right now it's Moral Oral, and I have a randomizer that actually chooses what medium it comes from. So it'll decide whether it's like a live action TV show or a book or a cartoon. And I rolled a cartoon, and I was like, well, what cartoon did I want to watch? And it's like, oh, why don't I finally watch this one after fucking 10, 15 years? So I don't randomizers, I think, if you come up with like, so like say there's like 4 things you're in progress of and you're trying to finish, just like assign a number to each one and then go to random.org, and then if you roll it, you go, okay, you just start an episode or a volume or even a chapter or play it, just start playing it for a bit and just until you stop, right? That you'll make a little bit of progress. So that's another tip I have for just getting things done potentially, because again, it just takes that like burden of, because that's what I hate just sitting there and just like doom scrolling on Twitter. It used to be, I don't know, I've just kind of shifted between like time wasty social media stuff, because social media platforms have just endless content. Like if I go on Twitter, there will always be new tweets in the For You section. So I can always have new 30-second videos to watch or new tweets by like, you know, and because that's what it wants. It wants me to just continue to consider. It used to be Imgur and 4chan. So it's like, you know, but I hate just doing that for hours, right? I want to be accomplishing, so like every so often is fine. You know, I watch videos like Germa, or I used to watch YouTubers more. You know, so yeah, something like if I'm not feeling like this thing, then I'll just try and use a randomizer or something to oh yeah, no, yeah, randomizers are good.
やめろって
なんか
それお分かりですか実はうん
The nighttime rule that nobody follows.
はあ
Yeah, I'm pretty sure every case no, actually, there was one case 4 doesn't involve the nighttime. I'm pretty sure.
なるほど
ええ仕方ないっしょ
行きたまえはあ
いいですわねごきげんよう
分かったか
仕方ないっしょ
やれやれやはり
うん
Okay. I guess we're getting close-ish to the. Well, maybe not. I don't know, because I'm not doing the free times. I don't think there's that much more for me to get out of them that's relevant to my video. So it should be relatively quick to get to the end from here. Go. I'm gonna do the investigation probably too. We'll see what time it is. Because I've only been streaming for like half an hour. I remember once I had a door that was actually like had the same problem with it, didn't fit the door frame, so it would just like even if it was locked, it could still open. It's more like the opposite problem. But it's oh no, it's like yeah, no, not even an opposite problem, just kind of yeah. It sucked. I mean, it's not. I don't know. Yeah, it got fixed, but still. Oh yeah, the Monica theaters. That's kind of what I'm here for in part, because it's foreshadowing oftentimes. Yep, I guess that does technically happen. There's a new tomorrow. It's just well, because she did lay the seeds for her potential defeat as well. Because at that like, I guess that's one big difference between the Danganronpa 1 and Danganronpa 2's ending. Because Danganronpa 2's ending is actually the last time we see Junko chronologically. Because like after she was relevant in Ultra Spare Girls, but that was like a prequel to Danganronpa 2. And obviously she's not really there in V3, but because she just got bored, like she was done. Because in this one, I feel like you could read her execution as she's getting bored partway through it, but her AI was still relatively engaged with Ultra Spare Girls, but then at the end of the Danganronpa 2, she's like, oh, I got bored. Like she didn't even care anymore to continue the conflict, basically. Though it's still kind of continuing in Danganronpa 3, but not because of her necessarily. More just as a. Also, I guess one thing that's nice about me having played the game so many times is I kind of barely have to pay attention. And oh yeah, no, I love how Naigi's just so short. And you can I think it's actually it's just that because I feel like in Danganronpa 2, because Hajime is taller relative to Naigi and his but he's still I remember him still seeming short-ish from the perspective, but it does really work. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I do remember that yeah, no, the game actually like Naigi feels small going around talking to all of their characters. So yeah. Oh, I'm glad you like Danganronpa, Titania. Oh no, Makoto is short. He's like I think the only character who's shorter than Nike is Chihiro. Maybe I'm wrong on that, but I'm pretty sure he's small. Aren't we supposed to meet here? Hold on. Maybe I'm just the wrong one. Maybe it's supposed to be Sayaka or something. Oh yeah, Sayaka. Whoops. Okay, never mind. I was just like, oh man, I've played this game so many times I don't even remember. Or I don't even need to really focus on where to go, and then I went to the wrong place. So you know, fuck me, I guess. Yeah, sorry, Persian. What THH? I'm not sure what that is. The only character from THH that is shorter than Makoto. Oh yeah, I guess yeah. Or I don't know. I'd have to double check. I'm actually pretty sure I bring that up in my old video. Because it's really noticeable when you do the school mode and you have all the characters just standing in the one room and you just walk around and it's like, oh my god, Nike's so short. Oh, Trevor. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Okay, I didn't think of THS's Trigger Happy Havoc. No, okay. I just don't think about the subtitle that much because when I played it, it was just Danganronpa, because that was it was a fan translation patch at the time. No, that makes sense. I usually just refer to it as DR1 usually. But now I understand. That makes sense. I didn't notice this because obviously this sign would be vertical, but and it's still like askew, but it's able to the sign fell from somewhere. I guess it kind of I don't know. It kind of works the way they did it, because obviously it wouldn't fit if you put the text horizontally. Oh yeah, I did want to look at the classrooms because I remember there was you little. What are you doing? I do like, there's one of my, I don't know, just dumb moments in the game that I like is when you just run into Genocider and she's just making mouth noises. It's so dumb. Fuko is so dumb. The sword. A smile he couldn't protect. Rip. Okay, I've been pretty good about not missing those because it's so fucking annoying when you miss one and you just have to restart the conversation and go back into it. I thank you for checking, person. And yeah, so Makoto and Asahina are tied, and then Chihiro is the only one shorter. My favorite DR character is Komaeda. I love him. He's terrible. He's amazing, and he's very good. My favorite one in this game, That's a good question. Or that's just what I was. I said that's a good question as if I was asked that question, but I really just asked myself that question. Um, Also, yeah, that Komine is just built different. In this game, it might be Kirigiri. I think that's what it's been historically. I don't think it changed last time I played the game. Because if anything, I found her more interesting my last time. Because I guess my thing with her is because if one of the ways you can sort of distinguish like Naigi and Junko is like Junko's analysis, so she's just this cold hard objectivity, and Naigi is more about like hope, emotion, human defined meaning. And Kirigiri kind of like walks the line between like humanity and like cold logic basically, and it's it leads to some interesting aspect things with conflicts with her character that are explored in the game. So yeah.
私あのですね。違います。でもえっとだからあのですね。えっと どうしてなの？ごめんなさい。
Sorry, I just focused on the read because it's like, damn. Just the the what's it called? Disposable item, or the the limited shelf life of idols, and yeah, the say yeah, God.
よし。
See, it's interesting because like God, I feel like I'm in such a weird position compared to the Danganronpa community because like Persian mentions like, oh, their favorite is Fuyuhiko and Shuichi, with Komaru being a wild card, but then there's also in the first game it's Kyoko or Sakura, and then Komun mentions comparing I guess my observation about Kirigiri to Sahara with Momoto and Momoto and Oma, and it's like I like I usually refer to the characters by their surnames. So whenever someone refers to the not always, like I have some exceptions, but when I tend to just like refer to whatever's easiest for me to remember. Sometimes it like Hinata, I sometimes call him Hajime. Like that one's pretty even, I think. And but then sometimes it'll be like their first names, like with Sayaka or Junko. Sometimes it'll be like their last names, like Naigi or Togami. But I do note it, but probably because like again, I don't know. I was talking about last time about how I feel like a lot of people got into Danganronpa probably with the official English release, and probably just played the dub because why not? So then they use exclusively, and even in the scripts they use the names, the first given names. Even though when they speak, they still use the surnames. So it's like I don't know. That's just what I'm used to for a lot of the characters and what they are. Like I call him Komaida. I never call him Nagito. But then people, will just casually refer to him as Nagito, and I'm like, oh yeah, that guy. Like it's just what my weird disconnect just from the way I engage with the franchise, I guess. So I guess another reason, aside from even the original translation patch, was also because I mentioned I wrote my fanfic, and I also referred to the character. I was trying to be very careful with how I had the characters refer to each other, and I generally also use surnames as his. Yeah, like that's a Stardust mentions like, yeah, that's like calling Aizen Sosuke, and it's like, I mean, in that one, it's like everyone calls him Aizen because everyone in the series calls him Aizen. But it's like, yeah, it's, and I don't have a problem with it, but there's just gonna be that level of just like that hiccup of me just going like, right, that guy. It's just interesting seeing that disconnect because of the way the game was released, and um, just yeah, it's just, I don't know. I don't have a problem with it. It's just again that like because I had to like read that comment. It's like, Momota, and Momota, right. Wait, shit, I don't even remember his Kaito. Thank you. Oh God, it slipped my mind for a second. Um, it just yeah, I don't know. Just that pause before I realized like, wait, that's right. Oh, I guess I should do the first Sayaka free time because the game wants you to do that one first, but and it's pretty important. Yeah, I'll do that one next. I was planning to skip all the free times, but I thought that one was forced actually, but it's only I don't know if it's four. Is it forced? I don't know. I just know it's the one that the game kind of wants you to do first because it's like literally free. You don't need any gifts or anything. Yeah, no, Sock, I understand, like, if you forget the last names, because it's like, if you're hearing the characters refer to each other by their given names, and, like, you can read, like, there's Naegi right there, but, yeah, it's just odd. Or it's just interesting to see the result of that. Oh, yeah, no, you're right about the nicknames first, and I forgot about that. Because, again, like, I end up reading the script a lot of time, but especially during the trials, I can literally hear when they say their surname or given name. So I mean most people could, but yeah. But if you play the dub, you wouldn't hear that. um, okay, yeah, I'm. Is that the sword? Okay, good. I should have hit R to leave because I didn't want to check something because it's just cute, I guess. Nope, not this one. One of the chalkboards had something on it. That was. Wait, where did I just come out? Did I? Oh, I missed this one, I think. I'm so confused. Oh, yeah, there it is. Secret Beauty. There's only one character that could be. This Blackboard belongs to us now. And it's like, yeah, it's Secret Beauty. Why is the game too? I mean, hold on. Because it's like, yeah, the game's. Oh, do you mean the pop-ups or do you mean the character sprites? Because obviously the navigation space is technically. Well, I was about to say it's 3D, but it's. I mean, it's in a 3D environment, but I'm still moving. I can only move across the 2D plane, so I don't know. Now I'm like tripping out of like what does 2D even mean or 3D even mean. Anyway, I'll do this one. Yeah, I mean it's just like it's definitely what's it called? I mean, part of it I definitely think the game just has a good style in general, but I would say it's also just like I mean, because Ultra Despair Girls had 3D models, and they, I wouldn't say they. I mean, it's a video game, but they don't have the best like renders or animation, but I guess they're fine actually. They look fine. But like, it's definitely really more. It's pretty pricey to do that, and this is the first game in the franchise, and the rest of the games kind of just follow in step with its aesthetic, basically. And they're yeah. Oh yeah, and like, I was gonna say because the anime came up, and it's like, the anime, I actually quite like the anime. I don't think I prefer it to the because obviously it's like, because like I think the free times offer so much, and I think especially like, I mean, obviously it's too late if you just like have already watched the Let's Play. Like if you're here, it's too late for you. But just like getting the experience of going through the trial for your first time, like you can't replicate that. And especially the one that it really like had one of the stronger impacts on me was in the second trial, where because I didn't know who the culprit is, and then it clicks together during when the jumpsuit color comes up, and it's just like, just that moment of realization stuck with me, of just that like, holy fuck, realizing who the only person who could have done it. But I understand that most people, yeah, because I know several people who played Let's Plays or watch Let's Plays, or yeah, the anime first, because the anime, it's just, but the anime is like, there's so many cool things about the anime, like so many details that you would really pick up on, or I picked up on from knowing the game already, and I think there's just some cool things that they can only do in the anime that are like, I love the way the climax, it has like everybody moving behind Naegi for the end of like the final hopeful. It's so cool. God, like I was surprised as because I feel like, I maybe didn't give it a fair shake when it first came out, but when I did go back and watch it in full, I was like, obviously it's not a substitute for the game for me, but I enjoyed it on its own. As someone who played the game, so yeah. Oh no, Sock! That's so funny. Because my first exposure to Danganronpa was a compilation of all the deaths and executions. No! Oh man, that's so unfortunate. Um,
私
sorry, let me go through this free time real quick, then I'll go back to chat.
だから 私 でも
Sorry, I'm just wondering if this is the one I'm thinking of, because maybe it was the second one.
あ
Oh
の
no, this is the one. Yeah. Yep, there it is. Just the first, not first, but just major, one of the, I guess actually chronologically, this is the first we know about of Nagi's talent, because it's like, the bird came to school, Crane, and then, because yeah, yep. Because I think, well, the way they word it is interesting, because they say, oh, I was already in charge of taking care of the animals at school. I'm pretty sure that would be a rotating duty, kind of like I feel like I've seen that in various like anime that take place in a school setting. Because same with like cleaning duty, where after class the characters clean up the school. So that's the unfortunate event
あのですね
of Nike being unlucky, was the teachers made him take care of the crane that wandered onto the campus because he was on animal duty. And then oh wait, did they just reference the crane favor myth? Oh yep, I'm the crane. I've come to return the favor. That's referenced elsewhere, like One Piece with Suru, and yeah, where a person helps Crane and Crane returns the favor. So, but luckily, Sayaka took notice of him.
私はですね。 エスパーですから。
Yep. Oh boy. Anyway, go back to the I'll go back to the comments. How do you pronounce Danganronpa? So, with Japanese like syllables, it's basically every two. Oh, thank you, Coleman, for mentioning. Yeah, I did forget that Tanaka's talent was like, okay, because it's school related. I think though, no, there was a comment on the last episode that also, on the last stream that also talked about that, because I did forget that. Yeah, several of the talents are but they're easy to translate. Like Mikan, where it's like, you know, she's specifically like medical duty, or I forget what the title was. It's whatever in Madoka Magica. Madoka has the same position in her class. She's just not ultimate, of course. But yeah, because she's the one who takes Homura to the medical, to shows her where the nurse's office is, because Homura is really sick, or sickly rather. And yeah, Danganronpa. So it's still Japanese syllables basically. Yeah, so it's you generally pronounce it at the same time, or the same each time. So da, and then with an n ending, because that's its own kana, basically the single n, and it's the only every other one is like consonants with then a vowel sound ending. Yeah. Oh, my script is my Danganronpa. I want to do a Danganronpa analysis. Now I understand what you're talking about. Yeah, or no, sorry. Yeah, I'm everywhere. So yeah, it's Danganronpa. So da ga ro pa again. So and then with the end sounds in there to end off the syllables. So that's how you pronounce it. To my understanding, I could have more of a Japanese inflection, I suppose, but I didn't grow up. I grew up speaking English, so with the Californian accent. No, I guess actually it would be some kind of American slurry of sounds. Because actually my parents grew up on the East Coast, and I would have learned talking from them. So, and yeah, my Danganronpa script that I'm working on it's a big analysis of sort of the whole franchise and some of the commonalities of, not the whole franchise. I'm not really talking about Old Spare Girls or Danganronpa 3 that much, but it's mostly the visual novel trilogy and how they have some sort of common elements. Yeah, I probably end up pronouncing it like because you're saying, yeah, Persian. It's Dan. Is it like it's easy to say Dan is in an English name, but it would technically be Da, I guess, because it's Da. Like I think. Hold on, am I right about that? Sake Da. Yeah, it's more like an ah sound for that syllable. But um, and yeah, I'm replaying this game specifically because I wanted to see if there was more to get out of Junko as a character, because that was the part of the script that I run into a sticking point with, where it's like, I understand her character, but I just felt like there were some little things I was missing to write the script properly. See, this is one of those monokuma theaters that's kind of that just makes me think like, fuck, maybe there's a point there, because it's like, you know, like anyone can make a masterpiece if they spent their life on it. Like, I do think that's true to a degree, because like you can continue to work on something and polish it and refine it until it's the best thing ever, but like, you know, well, but even then, I guess that's the other thing is like, actually, you know, I take it back, because like that's actually like exceptional to be able to do that, because as someone who I had stories that I was in mind when I was growing up and into high school, and at a certain point I sort of realized they were trash and I threw them out. You know, but if I kept going working at it, and I mean, in some ways, like I say that, but it's like there's elements of those stories and characters I came up with that still exist with me in some form. You know, but I don't know. It was just And well, also, Junko's coming up from a position of which she's looking at just how the world is. So she's basically like she's kind of doing what Kamida does here, because Kamida's whole thing is that like the reason he values talent is because the world as a whole values talent. Like he is an echo of the world. So Junko here is she's mocking the world, of course, but she's saying that like yeah, obviously, things that come out fast and or people who make multiple things, are more important and more accomplished. Especially actually now I think about it, the fast moving thing that's especially notable for fuck. I think I just this manga movie theater might have just clicked with me. Um, uh, oh, thanks. So Plax, or I don't know, Plax. If you haven't played Danganronpa, I just spoiled the shit out of you. I mean, I think the anime is worthwhile. I'd recommend playing the game though, and the reason I always I was kind of coming to earlier is because it's you play through the I don't know what you're doing here. I'm going to spoil the entire game because I've already played it a million times. If you play it, you get to have the possible interest of like, yeah, playing the game and uncovering the murders and mystery yourself in a sense, or getting to experience, especially in the trials, you literally like use evidence that you've uncovered to like go work through the trial and work through the clues and eventually solve and find out who the killer is. So maybe you'll figure it out beforehand. I certainly did in some cases, but you only get that experience once. So I think I feel like if you play through Danganronpa, you should play through all three of the games. I do think the anime, there's merit to it as an adaptation. There's some cool things it does, but without that, and some people here mentioned that they played through Let's Plays. And at the end of the day, as long as you like Danganronpa, I think it's fine. But again, you don't have that experience of playing through the mystery for the first time. You only get that once, and you can't really replicate that if you've watched a Let's Play or an anime or watched the anime first. So I definitely try it, like if you have the time and money. That's the other thing, because like the anime, I'm pretty sure it's on Crunchyroll, so you can just watch it. Like it's so much easier. Or Let's Plays, they're all free on YouTube. Like it's all there. So and they're much easier to access in that way. But but anyway, yeah, I guess like the way specifically what Monokuma was here talking about, like being fast, is like I just think about how like I remember hearing the claim that like most successful and famous writers were much older when they became that. Like they're very people who are like young and famous writers, aren't generally like Christopher Paolini did Aragon, and that was notable because it was by a young writer. And I guess he's still doing stuff, but it's only so loved, I guess, right? But and it was just like the fact that like it's so easy if you're in school to think that like, and the way that they talk about school, like the world, like that if you don't go to college, like what, you're a failure. But it's like, no, really, like your life isn't over just because you kind of didn't have do the most during your childhood. Like it's very possible to figure your shit out as an adult, but I don't think the world teaches us that. And it very much says the opposite, right? Of like you could ruin, like especially with like if you go to school, you have to go to school. It's so important. So I guess Monokuma is kind of talking about that here, about like that kind of mentality. I hadn't thought about that. So Danganronpa Zero, I would say Danganronpa Zero is worth reading. It's not amazing. I still don't really like it, but it's interesting, and especially there's a more recent translation that's more solid, and it mostly gives a lot of information on. I'll let you figure it out. I won't spoil it if you haven't read it, but because I just reread it this year, and the first one's just okay, but it's probably more interesting if you don't know the big twist though, because this is my third time reading it. So the second one was still interesting though, even knowing what was going on, but also having a better translation than my first two times. So yeah. Let's see. Back to the game. Anyway, I think we're about getting to the stuff happening part. See, now that I know that someone's here who hasn't played the game, I'm like, I need to tread lightly around spoilers, even though when I wasn't before. But it's like, I don't, it's just weird responding to my audience that way. Because now it's, because obviously before I normally like I played this. This is like the sixth time I played this game. I don't need to. Okay, that sure. No, I'm, and it's like I'm not gonna change. I guess like let's put it this way: it's like I don't really want to change my stream and like what I'm doing just because of one person. It's just like that's my natural like response, I suppose, if that makes sense. Like my natural instinct was like, oh, I gotta be careful about just saying who the murderer is and who the mastermind is because someone here who hasn't played the game. I appreciate that you're here, even though because like this stream is definitely for like either people who fancy my channel and my analysis videos and stuff, or people who are into Danganronpa and curious about it, or and ideally curious about my upcoming Danganronpa video. But yeah, no, that's fair. No, it's just it's not something I like. I'm going to do this now because of one person. It's more just like again that natural inclination and instinct that I had of just because like I mean generally my case on spoilers in general is like for me it's about interest, right? Like if I'm not interested in something or my interest like I don't like on the Weeb Club yesterday we were talking about Attack on Titan and none was like you know how much do you care if I spoil you crafts, and I'm like I literally do not care, like not because I don't care about Attack on Titan, like I'm interested in it, but I already kind of know some things and I also just lack so much context in so many other ways that I'm probably going to forget half that discussion anyway. You know, so or I also watched Pause and Select's 2-hour fucking Persona 4 video. It was really good. If you haven't, if anyone here who's played Persona 4 and Persona 4 Arena and has 2 hours to kill, please look up Pause and Select's video that he just put out on Persona 4. It touches on a lot of interesting topics. I actually want to rewatch it because there was some stuff he just kind of even just brought up briefly that I was like, oh, I'm interested in that topic and I want to follow up on that because either it just matches with something I'm already interested in or something I might even talk about on my channel in the future. And just, you know, if he points at it, I can be like, hey, maybe I'll go read a book that he's mentioning here or something like that. So just to, you know, letting you know. But I watched the whole video because it's like, no, I have not played Persona 4 yet. I'm interested in it. I'm working my way through there as I play through all the other Shin Megami Tensei games. You know, but I'm sure it's good. And but it's like the spoilers didn't feel like they'd ruin the experience of just like living the day-to-day life of the characters and having all those little character interactions. Like you can't spoil that. Like even if I know the deal of this one character, like there's so many jokes I'm not going to hear and so much banter and fun stuff, right? So I don't know. I'm not losing out by the. I missed. I meant for it to click on Kiyotaka. Ishimaru. I call him by his first name, even though I normally refer to him by his surname. See, that's why I reflexively went to the dining hall instead of talking to Sayaka before, because I'm just so used to the morning meeting. And I forgot that it's not actually there the first couple days. Also, random just character design thing. I like glasses in general, but I don't know. There's something about round glasses. Maybe it's because I don't see them in reality that much. That it's just like, oh, I don't know. It's just neat. Like, because of Fukawa there, and it was like, oh, yeah. Oh, right. it's this is Genocider Jack is kind of one of those what's it called like the Zoro Zolo situations for me, where it's like no matter how many times the game calls it says Genocide Jack, in my brain it's just like, oh yeah, Genocider Shoal. Because it's like, yeah, that's what I hear when the characters talk about it, them. So and I guess technically Jack changes to Jill later, but
でも
you know, I think I feel like Shoal changes to Seal or something like that, but it's pronounced the same way. Like it's like an SH to an SY, or maybe I'm just completely wrong, or maybe that's just how it's always. I don't know. I just realized like, wait, maybe I'm connecting things that, yeah, I don't know enough to talk about it. I guess so.
待て
It's just like a vague memory I just brought up.
だって
Oh, the show doesn't change. Okay, gotcha. I just remember hearing something about like the spelling pronunciation of like show SHO versus SYO or something, and I was just like, wait, does it change, or is it pronounced the same either way? Like even just in the comments, you had one person spelling it SYO and one person spelling it SHOU, which is you know if they're pronounced the same, it's fine. I just like was just getting wires crossed in my brain. And yeah, Genocider is usually just the default, because it's the one commonality across all the terms. So you just Genocider. Like actually, that's one of those trivia bits I heard about Street Fighter that I thought was interesting because like there's three characters, Balrog, Vega, and M Bison, who are referred to differently based on what region you're in. So there's kind of like a universal claw, dictator, and boxer that people refer to them to, so that you don't have that confusion. Because for some reason, in the American release, they shuffled around the names of those two characters. So I don't know, just interesting to talk about different different translations. That makes sense. Oh, that makes sense, right? Because there's the original forum Let's Play. That was the first time Danganronpa was translated, and then there was the Zetsuba project, which was the first playable time. So okay, they probably just used different ones. That makes sense. All right, the motive.
わかったつまりキランプププ
ざけんなこら
あのね
So it's definitely partly the result of because when I was writing my trilogy of Danganronpa fan fiction, every time I did a scene and I was writing a scene, I would just play this background, the track from the game on loop that was like relevant to like what kind of scene it is. So I kind of just enjoy like the entire soundtrack because I've heard it so much. Yeah. Just random trivia, personal trivia.
マジマジそうあなたが
This is just a fun track in general.
うん
Though I especially think of the one scene from Ultra Spare Girls where they're at the subway and they try to leave and there's just a bunch of Monokumas dancing outside and that track's playing. It's so dumb. I love it.
さてとほんプププププうへへへへへそうかしら
されどそうだおいおいおいだこらざけんなこら
Bullying.
おい
あの
おい
うーん
Oh yeah, I know where I'm going. Oh, that's really interesting. Persian, because yeah, I didn't know that bit of trivia. Just to repeat it for the VOD, because like I need to figure out how to put chat on screen just because it's if in case I want to, just so that like that's still archived because I don't know when YouTube gets rid of those the chat archives scrolling by, um, but I know Twitch just straight up gets rid of the whole thing eventually if you're not like partnered, but yeah, the fucking person who made the soundtrack, yeah, didn't know the context of the scenes that he was or yeah composing the soundtrack for. That's really interesting. Because yeah, no, the soundtrack is just it's I really like it on its own, but it's also just used so effectively that it's like damn. I mean, it's definitely possible. I remember when I was super into Homestuck, Andrew Hussey would like actually I just he how he'd because he would make his flash animations with as collaboratively with other people, but they wouldn't want to get spoiled either, of course, because so he'd like, if they're drawing like one piece of art for the animation, like that doesn't tell them what happens, even if it's an important piece of art, they don't necessarily know what happens, and Hussey would edit some of them himself. Like I think it ended up being a lot of work for him. Like with one place that got destroyed, he was like, "Hey, make a bunch of like visual cool art for this place," and then he'd have to like go through and just destroy it. So it ended up being more work for him than if he just done it himself, probably. But he'd like be vague about it, like, "Oh, hey, make the music like ramp up here at this moment," because he was timing it for a certain important, impactful part or whatever. So it's definitely possible, like, "Oh, make a track that's like this," and then get to give advice based on that, and like with but I don't know how intimate the process because that was a fan environment with Homestuck. This is a professional environment, so yeah. Okay, yeah, that's cool. Also Komaru with his different design and probably different voice actors too. Though I do no, I think Ultra Sparrow Girls came out a couple of years after the English release. I just realized it would be neat if they actually did get the voice actor. I don't know. I'm wondering if someone happens to know in the dub, do they have actually maybe even in the sub because maybe I'm just wrong because I just assumed they were different because there was such a like long release gap between the two games and a change in mind for the character. It didn't sound like the Kamaro I knew, no, but I was just wondering if for the dub, did they happen to be the same voice actress, or because sometimes they can actually like have that foresight because of like another branch. I don't know. I was just thinking out loud. The protagonism on her hair. That's such a because in my brain it's just an ahoge, but I just love the way that's such a funny word. I like the way Danganronpa V3 plays with this similar motive where they get shuffled around and fucking Oma is so funny. He's such a piece of shit. I love him. um, I always like seeing the sprites that I feel like. I mean, it's funny with Sayaka because, relatively speaking, you know, she has a smaller role, all things considered. So it's like, you know, even those like sprites of her scared, I don't know, they just feel like more minor. So whenever I see them, it's like, oh yeah, that's kind of a rare sprite. There's a couple, like Nagi ones that you only see like the one of him really afraid with his like a Hoge all like bent out of shape and he's got like the gray streaks on his face. That one you only see like I feel like a couple of times in the game, so it's really I don't know. It always stands out to me when you do see. I mean, in general, with a lot of his sprites, you don't see them that much because they're only really there during the trials. But okay, yeah, yeah, it makes sense that yeah, interesting that the anime would keep it consistent. Oh yeah, I guess they also had or yeah, I don't know. I just remember. I feel like with the dub with Danganronpa 3 and the anime, I don't know. I just was like, wait, was there? Were they completely consistent with the games, or were they done by different teams and had like? Because I know there's some like the dub studio used for the game, like they're not credited and they don't have they like it's up to the individual if they want to be credited. I remember because I remember when as the games were coming out, the dub actors would like announce themselves, but I just remember that coming up as part of the topic. But obviously I imagine the anime was done by a different dub studio, so it's been a while and it's not a whole field I'm super like up and up on. um so yeah. See. Oh, right. I remember where she went. Or I think. Nope. Oh, no. I think I don't know. I'm just going to stop talking about how I know the game because clearly my memory is not very as perfect as. Oh, nope. She's not here either. Maybe it was one of the classrooms. I'm so lost. I mean, this is what the game is. You're supposed to be running around lost trying to find her, but I'm just trying to remember. I know the scene that plays when you find her. Oh yeah, there goes the music. There she is. Oh yeah, one thing I hadn't thought about is because like the way Nike's framing it of like those videos have to be fake. He's kind of how do I put this? Like that's his emotions speaking, right? He's rejecting a potentially very bad reality. And to be fair, the game kind of wants to be vague about what's going on outside. Even at the end, I mean, even though I don't think it really holds up, but there's definitely like we won't know what it's like out there until we get out there, which it works for like the school allegory where it's like we don't know if graduating after graduation from school if it's going to be good or bad for us. You know, we just have to go out there and try anyway. Um, but like obviously especially like knowing the whole franchise, like we know how things end up. But like the way he's kind of just like rejecting reality because again if you examine the game's conflict as regards to like the objective versus subjective and the cold logical world Enoshima sees versus the more emotional human world like Kirigiri I was talking about earlier with her divide between logic and emotion. Like this is kind of the negative parts of emotion in a sense because it's rejecting reality because it's convenient or easy to do so. But yeah, sort of a blind, desperate hope, if that makes sense. Because the ultimately, yeah, it's it doesn't work out. You know, he's not able to convince Sayaka that the video is a prank, and probably he doesn't even really believe it himself, or well, maybe partly or wants to believe it. But yeah, oh, that's funny. Persian mentioning that in Danganronpa 3, some of the actors from the games were there, but they didn't necessarily reprise their roles. That's amusing. I mean, yeah, that's interesting. I think some of them got to continue being because obviously it's like yeah, if the anime actor was different in the first like because they bring up Hagakure, and it's like the anime actor reprised his role as Hagakure, but the dub actor played a different character instead. Interesting. So he still got to be part of the project even though he wasn't the character that he played in the original game. Huh, neat. Thank you for looking, or if you didn't happen to know it, thank you for looking into it for me. It reads like you already knew that, but I still appreciate it. Either way.
大陸私だってねえねえははまだまだよろしいちょっと待って
Teenage hormones.
ははほらむきあお
I feel like I was just about to say something, and then I took some water and forgot. Oh, I guess I was thinking about how I watched a Jacob Geller video about like games that save the best for last, and he sort of talks about how like a lot of games start with their like designers design the first level last because that way they're able to like sort of prime you for the game that's to come. I was just thinking about how the first cases in Danganronpa oftentimes are some of the at least in 2 and 3 they're some of the better ones in the game. Not that the other ones aren't good and for the most part, but like I don't know. I was just thinking about how like I'm just trying to envision myself playing this for the first time, and you know oh, V3 having no new actors is That's interesting. Okay, because it's like, yeah, because I really like when a boy, like especially because like obviously in some cases you can have like meaningful references, like Naegi and Komaida being one that's shared across both Japan and the English dub. But yeah, that's interesting. And especially when they can disappear into that. Like I remember Aikatsu in the first series, the main trio they all have new roles in Aikatsu Friends, which was done a few years later. And I literally didn't know until I looked it up, even though like one of them is very very obvious, and I'm surprised that I wasn't able to tell. Probably because there was such a gap between me watching the first season and that season. But I don't know. And yeah, for Coleman mentioning how first cases definitely try to leave an impression. It's like yeah, there's definitely a level of like there's a big twist because honestly that's the thing that got me about playing Danganronpa for the first time because it's like the killer is obvious, it's literally written on the wall. But even then when I've still played it, what I didn't have figured out before I played the trial is how Sayaka's role in it worked, and I like that made me surprised. I was like, oh fuck, I didn't think about how she worked. She was just a victim, right? It's like no, there's more going on there. Um, so yeah, just like just trying to step back and see like the way it's building up with Saika's dialogue, how you can sort of see like all the little things of just like her motive and like all her character that's there, but there's also the level of like, you know, playing the game, you want to like she's cute, you want to protect her, and so how could she possibly betray you? um, So it's just interesting. Like thinking about like I'm not trying to imagine myself going through it for the first time because it's been over 10 years now since I did that. Um, God, 10 and a half years. Fuck me. Oh yeah, this game is 10 years old this year. The English release of this game, rather. It's 15 years old in Japan.
変なことがあった大陸
Oh, and I guess also having this voice, the V3, and the actors in V3 coming back to do new roles because, like, how the last trial works out is you have basically every character showing up. Almost, I think there was like one or two that didn't because they might not have been able to get the voice actor or actress. But, so obviously everyone needs to come back to reprise their roles. So in V3, by having the voice actors and actresses already there, just a little consolidation. That I just hadn't thought about that because I didn't know that, but yeah.
私
Um,
大陸まさか
all right.
でも
Almost done with this. Then we'll do the investigation, and then that'll be done for the week. And next week we'll do the trial.
あのえっと
Oh, that's what I was thinking of. Thank you. Yeah, because it's like, why did I think did they finally give Mukuro sprites like normal sprites in Danganronpa S? I feel like they did, but I haven't. No, I just haven't played through that game yet. So why it took them so long to do it. um, because it is because I finally finished the RPG stuff in Danganronpa V3 and the game board mode. What was that called? Development, talent development. Yeah, and it's just like, yeah, Mukuro is always Juko disguised, and it's like, yep.
食堂はドアをロックされますので、ではではいい夢を。おやすみ。エスパーですから。えっと
She is cute. Maybe the Sims got a point. No, just think about like what I was talking about last time with the one guy who's really into her, and the one guy there. I should dig up that 50-page analysis on actually. Oh, I know where I might be able to find it. I'll link it in chat and the description. After because it's I never read it. Maybe that's a whole. Maybe I just had the cursed idea. Maybe that's just the whole stream of trying to fucking decipher that. Because like, 50 fucking pages. Maybe it's even more than that. I don't even know. It's been a while. Okay, yeah, I was thinking about this earlier. It's just I don't know what these metal plates are here for. Like, are they there? Are they blocking windows? Why do the dorms have windows? I don't know. Just a weird thing I've been wondering. Um, Nagi, you fucking loser. I'm looking forward to sleeping on this bed. What is wrong with you, boy? Virgin. Oh boy. Okay, this is interesting. Um, okay, never mind. Oh, yeah, leaving the world behind. Oh, okay, gotcha. I see. At first, like the idea of them going into space, I was like, wait, is this? Did they reference this in Danganronpa V3? But then it's like, no, she's more just talking about the ultimate isolation of the school and the freedom enforced, like allowed by rules, basically. Okay, that's what she said. Yeah.
お前らおはようさて今日
All right. The game just takes you right there. That's unusual. Like the first hint that something's wrong.
おい
ごめんややや
悪い悪い
何よ
Which cast would I get along with the most? That's a good fucking question. Cause like the Danganronpa 2 cast is probably my favorite overall, but they're also characters with a great potential for fucking evil, as we come to find out. And as far as like personality, like what's the word? Not synthesis, but like compatibility. That's the word. I don't think there's that many characters. I'm not a super personable guy. Let's be real. I'm a nerd. I stay in my house, my room, my apartment most of the day. I go out to work and do errands, and then I'll home on my computer. So I'm trying to think of like, let's see. Danganronpa 1 cast in that vein has fucking Fukawa and Hifumi, who are like Yamada, and it's like, well, okay, Fukawa hates me. Worst case scenario, in the fucking like 0% one chance she finds me handsome, I'm gonna get fucking killed by genocider. That's not gonna go very well. Yamada, no. uh, Agakuri's chill, but I'm not into weed. I don't even think he does smoke weed. It's just funny to say that because like obviously drugs are super like restricted in Japan. Um, they are down to earth though. Like I think like Sakura's cool. Asahina's nice. But I feel like I don't know if I had to hang with them. Yeah, there's definitely a few like even like those two characters as far as like sharing interests. It's like at least they wouldn't be like horrible to be around. I guess okay maybe Fukawa a little bit, but like with the Danganronpa 2 cast, this is hard. I haven't thought about this before. I mean, I definitely like, I don't know. I always think about Nidai. I read it up last time too, because like his ability to just like determine your physical potential, something about that appeals to me as someone who's physically kind of inept and not very good. Um, though at the end of the day, I'm also don't feel like committing that much time to sports. I just want general physical fitness, and I don't think he'd vibe with that. The thought I keep coming with the Danganronpa cast too is just like, can I fix them? Because they're all so fucked up. Again, I don't think I can. I don't have enough therapy skill in the world. I don't think there is enough therapy in the skill in the world. And the V3 cast, That one might be the one because I'm like thinking of the characters and it's like Rontaro's cool, Kaide's good, Shuichi's chill, Kaito's a bro, almost a little fuck. I don't know how that'd go. Gonta's a sweet man. Uh, Tenko's difficult as a man. Because I'm just thinking of her fucking shitty expressions. She's so funny. Oh man. Oh god. But that wouldn't be as funny to like have to engage with. Um, oh yeah, and I'm imagining not a killing game because a killing game is like, yeah, that's not gonna go well. Like, cause like the games are super, like well made and stuff, but that's I feel like if an actual killing game were to happen and have these exact same rules, it would be so much less interesting. Like I remember in my fanfic, I have a proto killing game, so to speak, and all that happened is one character found another in like a room, they strangled them, and then they fucking left, and like there was no evidence. They were able to escape basically, and Monica literally went like, well, this is fucking stupid. We're doing this over. They let the one person escape and just like redid the game basically. Like it was just like it's just I feel like it wouldn't be interesting for an actual killing game. Um, and yeah, locking yourself in your room is completely fair. Though I feel like with the having to be discovered thing, um, I don't know. See, my whole first fanfic was literally kind of because people were always like kind of like, oh, why don't the characters just do this? Why don't the characters just do this? So I kind of wanted to have the characters be more proactive in trying to avoid a murder. Um, and they'll answer but obviously I still have to keep having the murders happen because it's a fucking Danganronpa fanfic. It's got like that's just how things gotta go. Danganronpa even. Um, and what I ended up coming to is that Monokuma would literally counter all of your efforts to try it. Like he wants murders to happen and he'll do whatever the fuck he can to make them happen. So yeah, unfortunate.
落ち着いて。うん。それは。そう。違うよ。あのね。聞いてよ。でも。まだまだ。
Oh, hi, Ryden. Glad you can catch the stream as well. I don't know how much longer it's gonna go. I'm gonna finish the investigation, and that'll be that.
ブッブッブ違うよ。
Also, on the topic of being caught in a killing game, I have a terrible poker face, and I'm not very good with lying. So I don't like. Obviously, I don't. I'd have to be in a pretty rough situation to even think about killing someone. I don't think I'd be able to pull it off. Um,
黙れ。
は
おい。
ブッブッブッはブッブッこらこらではもしかすると
oh God, AnyTube killing game.
つまり 潜んだ苦労は誰かをお前らに議論してもらいます。
Sorry, Ombre, that is pretty funny.
その結果は学級裁判の最後に行われる投票により決定されます。そこでお前らが秩序を乱した黒だけがお仕置きとなりますので、ただしもし間違った人物を罪を逃れた黒だけが生き残るその場合、もちろん共同生活は以上。これがなんと処刑は処刑だよ。天気椅子でブリブリ、6月でもくもく、ハリケーンなんちゃらで体がバラったりってやつだよ。
Who is the most intelligent protagonist between Nagier and Hinata? That. That's tough. Because obviously at the end of the day they're the player. I mean, I see why Shuichi's not included because I think between I really like having that option for the trial backdoors, and like I love the second trial when he's like, "You're right, you're right. Magic is real." I think I said the wrong character name, but like, fuck, I can't remember her name right now. And she's just like, fuck, like it's so funny. You know, so I'm trying to think with Nagi and Hinata, because like, I mean, I might just have to say Hinata just because I feel like the trials he has to do, especially trial 5, is just it's like, you know, but even then, it's not necessarily like intelligence, like logical intelligence that helps him through that. In a sense, or maybe okay, how should I put this? I feel like with that, it's like the reason he kind of keeps questioning it is because of Komaeda, and how I read that is because he's so similar to Komaeda and he understands Komaeda so well that like because what keeps happening is we arrived at the answer, all right, time to vote, and then Hinata's like, wait, no, something's wrong. I feel like if Komaeda was here, he'd be laughing at us, right? So you know, it's not necessarily like through like, because obviously like the players ultimately the ones who logics to the puzzles. I guess another way you can think about it is like the mini games, because like Hinata has to deal with you know, the worst Hangman's Gambit, and also just more mini games in general. I don't know, I'm just trying to think of like how to quantify their intelligence and like which one of them would be smarter, quote unquote. So I don't know. And yeah, because they both need help, like as Persian's mentioning, because like Komaeda helped and Nanami both help Hinata, but and Komaeda also just throws in wrenches in the works too. So yeah, I don't know, it's interesting. I hadn't thought about that.
なんと
Uh-oh.
びっくり。やめろって。はひらん。今日もはい、これで満足？そっちこは学園長子供の召喚魔法を発動。
Uh-oh. Oh, and the fucking little like foreshadowing there with the Sphere Goon gear from Norse mythology. Killing Fenrir.
おかしくない？なんで？
And especially after going through Danganronpa 0 and just like the way she just so deeply believes that she's the one who understands Junko the most and that she's the one who's most important in her life. But then even like there's moments in there where you can clearly see that Junko thinks of her as Mukuro. I hope that's what I said earlier. As just completely expendable. It's just like, yeah. Um,
にゃほほほほ僕は本気だよ。逆らう生徒は蜂の巣になったり爆発させられたり、そんな風になりたくなかったらお前らは学園ね
yep, there's the nihilism.
どうして
Also, he said superhero manga or his superhero comic. I wonder if I just was wondering if like in the original Japanese, I'd have to compare it with the Zetsubo Project translation or another translation because I wonder if he said shonen manga or something because I feel like that's people are aware of how characters quote unquote die in a battle shonen series and they're fine. They'll come back. I'd say Mukuro is pretty consistent. I mean, there's a slight exception in the what if because that's like an alternate like that's a take on a character where she kind of like ends up rejecting Junko in a sense, but even then she still kind of thinks it's been a while since I read it. I feel like there was still a level of her that thought that what she was doing was better for Junko by going against her, but it's I mean, admittedly, and she's not super like what's the word there's not a lot going on with the character, in the sense because she is just kind of like Junko's pawn, and that's so most of what her character like in this game that's basically like we just got all of her character except for the 2 free times, and there's only 2 free times. No, there's a school mode ending too. I take that back, but that's all that was in the original Danganronpa. So I'd say her character is pretty consistent because like most of the rest of the franchise, Danganronpa 3 and 0 are just going more into like her fervent love of Junko and and with Junko just sees her as a pawn. Yeah, so. Um,
じゃあそうじゃあ
I think I'm just gonna speed through the investigation a bit, just because I kind of already. Yeah, I feel like there's not. I mean, there is one thing I got out of the investigation, not the investigation, but just the trial in general that I hadn't gotten before. And I'll talk about it. Because I don't think I got it out of the trial immediately. It's more that I got out of it later, like comparing it to the whole. I want to see what Fukao says though, because I think she's, yeah. I thought they make a comment of her deliberately like not looking at the blood because obviously that would genocide her. That is pretty funny, replacing a Danganronpa protagonist with a JoJo protagonists. Um, I did actually. Oh my god, you just reminded me of a really dumb comedy Danganronpa fanfic idea I had. Oh wait, I'm supposed to look at the body. Oh, hey, Mathwas is here. I've played like a few minutes of Danganronpa S, and I just started. It was pretty close after I finished the RPG stuff in Danganronpa V3, so I was like, yeah, I don't feel like this right now, but I do want to finish it, just because like I've already finished every other Danganronpa game, so might as well. By the way, to explain that, I had back when I was writing more Danganronpa fan fiction, I had the idea for a more comedy-focused crossover fic, where basically the idea was to basically, because I remember I was talking to a friend, and oh, I think I just missed the line about with Foucault and not watching the blood, or maybe not. But basically, why can't I leave? Talks to I'm bad at the game, because I'm just ignoring what's being said, and then
とにかく
sorry, I'm getting completely distracted because I don't know the game what's I'm not paying enough attention. But anyway, so I had the idea for a comedy crossover where there it is. Basically, because I was describing Danganronpa to a friend, and how I put it is like, oh yeah, one anime might have like a single super talented character in their cast, but Danganronpa is like putting a bunch of them together, and there are these kind of archetypes and stuff. So I remember having the idea of like, well, what if I do a crossover thing where I take a bunch of characters from different anime who would be considered talented if they were in Danganronpa, in the Danganronpa universe, and then just like have a multiversal crossover thing, but it ended up just being more of a comedy. Like, the murders don't happen at all. No, that's not entirely true. Like, I just ended up putting characters that I liked in there, that I could reasonably argue as talented in some way or another, and it was just, even that was joked about, because I remember, like, one of the characters, was Makise Kusu from Steins Gate, because she's, like, high school aged, but she's like, a fucking able to go to college, and she can't come up with all this super impressive science and stuff. And so, she was like, well, why? I'm not a high schooler. Why am I here? And Monokuma like comes up with some dumbass explanation. I think I had another character who was like they were just straight up not in high school anymore. And they asked why they're there, and Monokuma just straight up didn't have an answer. Just really dumb jokes. But Joseph was one of the characters because like he's high school aged in part 2. It was specifically part 2 Joseph, Joestar. And he's just such a wacky character. I don't know. I remember. I should dig up that fic. And it's just, I don't know. I hadn't thought about it in a while. I don't think I'll ever finish it or go back to writing it. But I just remember having ideas for it. Was silly. Okay, now I can leave. If there were a new Danganronpa game, see, it's hard for me to imagine what I'd want from a new deck, because I at the end of the day, I just want it to be good or interesting. But I do know that, at least for me, because I wrote a trilogy of Danganronpa fanfics, and my what was it? How do I put this? They were kind of derivative of the original, if that makes sense. Like they were very close to Danganronpa. Where V3's message was very much like, I felt like it's what Danganronpa is it's not a definable it's not a thing that has to be strictly defined, if that makes sense. So with the kind of my takeaway of like, what if you're taking something from Danganronpa, or in the case of Kazutaka Kodaka leaving Danganronpa and led it into project to others, they don't have to be beholden to what Danganronpa is. They can just kind of do their own thing using Danganronpa as a sort of way to tell the stories and do the things that are interesting to them. So I'd be completely cool with it being. I want it to be something different and more, still recognizably Danganronpa in a sense, for whatever that means. But that could change. That would change person to person, right? Like I remember when I was coming up with stuff, I or thinking about stuff, I would just realize like, at least because I have two other ideas for fanfics I might end up doing one day, and I remember what I kind of realized is like, I guess one of the things that's really important to me about Danganronpa is just their characters having talents, basically. Because I deliberately like I have one idea for a fic that basically doesn't have any killing is the point. Like it's a killing game and it still has a lot of the structural elements and the quote unquote trials in a sense, but the setting and the conflicts that go through, like basically the idea is like, because Nagi will say like, oh, I don't want no one's gonna kill each other, basically, and I wanted to write a fic that still manages to be interesting and have these various elements of Danganronpa, but also have those words come true. Have a story where no one kills each other. But it's like, how do you keep it interesting? Like that would be the struggle of writing it, right? So it's like a killing game with no killing, right? Like that's, I don't know. That would be an interesting idea to see. Another one was what was it? Oh, the other one is like it's like 3 chapters instead of 6 chapters, and the twist kind of just I don't want to spoil the twist because I might still write it one day because it's shorter. But yeah, it's just I don't know. It's just I'd like to see something, but I feel like if I were to mention something unique and different, it would be like I could just play Raincode because I have heard that that's part of like continuing from Danganronpa in a sense, like less story wise and more like there like tech what's the word ethos wise or thematically in a sense. So I'm interested in it for that reason. But I haven't played it yet. I plan on it. It's a Switch game though, so which means I don't know. Well, it's not a Nintendo mainline one, so it might go on sale one day. But I don't know. If it comes to PC, because I don't know, PC games are cheaper. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know what I'd want from a new Danganronpa game. So yeah, 11037. Gotta love it. All right. Yeah, gotta see. Oh, right, the nameplates. Okay, and then what did I also have? Oh, right, trash. Oh, not yet. Okay, I need to find out who has the trash yet first. Okay, that's interesting because yeah, Pullman just mentioned apparently Raincode is able to do cases that aren't in possible with Danganronpa structure, which makes sense because like, you know, there's a lot of things about like the way the locations. I don't know. I can't compare it fully, obviously, because I haven't played Raincode, but I'm just thinking I can see how that could be limiting in some ways. Like every chapter has to open up a new area, and every opening of a new area gives, you know, new things to do and find that all can also be used in the murders and generally have to be in a sense. Maybe not have to, but like you know, oh, whoops, I was hitting the wrong button. So yeah, Persian. Yeah, I mean, what I'll say is because so when I wrote my fanfic, like I had written a lot before, but it was in the case of like play by post role play. So like but I grew a lot writing that fanfic. Like if you have a story that you like really want to write, like even if you try writing it, and even if you don't fully write it, like I don't, it could still be really like informative and to you as just like I don't know, you like I ended up learning a lot about myself and stories just for what I wrote. So you know, even if you don't finish it, it could be worthwhile. Just saying. But yeah. All right, do I have to go to Sayaka's room? Asking basic questions for shit I should know. If I was actually like engaging with the investigation, I've done like 8 times now, probably more like 6. But yeah, I need the disc. I'm not a speedrunner. I do a bad job. I gotta respect speedrunners because they just do the same shit again and again and again and again and again and get slightly better at it. I feel like I would just because I remember trying. I remember when Melee was popular in high school. Keep in mind when I was in high school, Brawl was already out, or Brawl came out when I was in high school, I should say. And I remember like literally trying to practice wave dashing, but I ended up like I got bored and I just didn't want to do it after a long enough time, and I just never tried it again. I don't know. Like practicing a video game to get better is just like playing it to get better is different. Like with Monster Hunter, I'll just replay it and replay it and replay it, and sometimes I'll back out and re-strategize if we're on a tough hunt and get new equipment or whatever. But like, I don't know. Like I just as far as personal preference goes, I'll just naturally get better at a game rather than you know, practicing to get better at games. So, you know, full respect to what's it called? The oh right. Wait, do I have to the sword? Oh, I think I have to look at no, what am I doing? Because I know I need to look at the trash still. I'm just trying to remember how do I get to the trash without actually having to pay. This is dialogue. Hard mode. Oh, there it is. Yes. There it is. Oh yeah, and it's something I just remember that's more accessible. It's very dated. I'm pretty sure I shit on Nanami at one point, but I did write a basically because I remember I wrote my Danganronpa trilogy, and so on Archive of Our Own I have a like a guide basically where I give some advice that I learned for writing Danganronpas. So there's some dated information in there, but last I read it, I thought some of it held up. So I don't know, just worth think. I don't know. I'd have to dig it up. Oh shit, there was something else I was gonna link. But oh, it was the Sayaka. Okay, yeah, I'll find those before I leave, both of them, because we're almost done here. Because yeah, I'm sure skipping through the game isn't super interesting. But it's like it's all just information we're gonna go through in lots of detail next time. So it's like, you know, I mean, I guess I could also do this off stream, because I don't think there's any. I think maybe the last investigation is worth going through for this, because it's just like, yeah, I just don't remember getting any big takeaways from the game during the investigations. I mean, there's still some fun stuff and interactions and stuff, but it's not what I'm here for. Right, Hagakure, because the glass ball. No sword. I don't know. I said that. I need help. Professional help. Yep. All right. Cool. We did it. Investigation speedrun. All right. So we're about done. So I will link those two things. But if anyone has any one thing they want to ask or talk about before I go, now's a good time to bring it up. Win Marvel? Shit, is that a reference to something? I feel like it is. No, maybe I'm thinking of Win Broly. Win Broly. Yeah, I don't know how to answer that question. I'm sorry. I've been thinking if I ever want to do MCU content, just because I do really like the MCU, but I'm not sure like what I would talk about because I don't know, because I know one area that's definitely interesting is because I was watching the first X-Men movie, and it caught my attention because the MCU's kind of avoided like using characters' superhero or supervillain names a lot. Like in the first movie, I didn't know Stain was called Warmonger. I'm caught up to everything except Echo. I didn't watch Echo because I heard basically just from hearsay on Twitter, people were talking about the Defenders and how it's canon now, even though Kingpin and Daredevil have been in stuff before. So I don't know if it actually does anything with the Defenders stuff that's more meaningful than those than Hawkeye, No Way Home, and She-Hulk. But I don't know how much I'm going to watch this year, but I want to catch up on the Defenders and just watch all of the Netflix stuff before Daredevil Born Again. So I'll just watch Echo after I catch up on the Defenders. So aside from that, I'm caught up to everything that's come out in Phase 4 and 5. But I feel like if I were to do MCU topics, I had the idea of like the fucking absurdly long idea that would probably be really exhausting to do is like analyzing everything where I just go through from Iron Man through and just talk about like here's what this one's about, here's what this one's about. I don't know if that'd be interesting. I'm sure some people would think it was neat, but I don't know how well that would go. And I've had the idea of doing that before, but every time like Ippo, I was going to analyze every single fight in Ippo, and there's some people that would really like that, but the idea of doing it, I mean, for Ippo, it's also manga editing, and that's just really way harder. Where with MCU, it wouldn't be that difficult, but it's just kind of that level of just like, God, that would be a long ass video, and that kind of would end up stopping me. But I guess the other idea I had would still need a lot of research because I'd want to look into the comics because I want to. I mentioned I thought about it because I watched the first X-Men because like the MCU's kind of been avoiding superhero names and supervillain names sometimes, but that first X-Men had like Wolverine making comments about their code names and like mocking them in a sense, and then like if you look at the outfits in the 2000 X-Men movie, they're all wearing black, like they're very toned down in a sense and not very comic booky. And I was thinking about that and just the phrase like comic book accurate, if that makes sense, and just thinking about how that sort of relationship, adaptational relationship between the comic books and the other media. And I'm going to be done here. I'm not going to start the trial. I'm just going to finish these topics. Oh yeah, thanks, Ryan. Yeah, no, I like I'm not super into my older stuff on Chaos and Chaos Child, but I'm overall like I did a decent job talking about them, and yeah, especially I hope you check out my full-on Takeru Serika character analysis because it's it's probably my best science adventure video, and I definitely hope to make more stuff when I play through those games again because I never played Noah. And my plan was when I play Noah, I'm gonna play through all of them. So yeah, but so I answered your question before you even got a chance to ask it. But no, because yeah. So what was I gonna say? So back to the MCU, I just was thinking about the phrase "comic book accurate" and how people like levy that as a criticism. When for me, at the end of the day, I just want good stories, right? And most of like a lot of my superhero stuff has been the MCU, or like even when I watched X-Men '97 and I'm watching X-Men movies now, I'm doing those because of what Disney Marvel is putting out, or like with Deadpool, like Deadpool 3 is coming out this year, which is I've already watched Deadpool 1 and 2, but it's like, well, I never watched all the other X-Men movies, so I've seen some of them, but like not all of them. So it's just like, why not? It's just like 13 movies. It's not that much at the end of the day. I feel like, you know, and like I already mentioned, wanting to watch the Defenders, but I just had the idea because like one issue that I understand people, because obviously it's like you read these comics, you get attached to these characters, and you see them in the movie, and they lack some of the appeal. Like Ultron is a big one that people are mad about in MCU because it's like, well, he's really different from the comics versions, but it's like he's like he was made by Tony Stark instead of Hank Pym, so he's a completely different take on Ultron. So people who like that character and wanted to see that version in a live action movie are going to be disappointed. But same with Spider-Man in the MCU. It's like, well, they have this big ongoing narrative that they're thinking about, so of course they're going to transform the characters to fit like yeah, making Ultron and Spider-Man more tied to Tony, who's kind of the face of the first three phases, like the next most important character being fucking Steve Rogers, right? And like they're the two characters whose arcs form the backbone of all of phases 1 through 3, right? So it's like looking at the MCU as its own thing, I understand why they're making these decisions, but I can also understand people who like these characters from the source material seeing these changes and feel like, because that's the thing, is these adaptations, like especially with the DC animated universe, as an adaptation, it's like I feel like it's so formative. Like when you think of like what's the Batman voice, right? It's like it's fucking Kevin Conroy, right? Who's the Joker? To me, it's always going to be Mark Hamill, right? Like even though I love all these other like I enjoy all these other performances, like Mark Hamill's the Joker for me, right? So these adaptations become so popular that, and comic book fans inevitably are gonna, especially with the popular, like superheroes are so popular right now, but I don't know how much of that has translated to superhero comics, right? So I just kind of wanted, I was just thinking of like how much do I want to like really dig into this relationship between uh oh, between the comics and the adapted media, and talk like what I was going for with how X-Men is like mocking the idea of superhero names and all the outfits are black instead. Like Wolverine doesn't wear his normal yellow and blue, he wears just a black kind of suit. Cyclops doesn't wear his blue and yellow, he it's all black suit with a dark red strip on his black visor. Like they're like Hollywood just kind of doesn't like superheroes that much, or not even that. Like no, that's wrong, because it's like obviously they've been pretty big, but there's a way that they kind of shy away from like being too comic booky, if that makes sense. Like Snyder saying some comments about like, oh, if you have two people in suits talking to each other for too long, it just looks kind of dumb. And even Spider-Man, because it's like obviously Spider-Man's costume is pretty on point, but like there's still Sam Raimi's Spider-Man, there's still adaptational changes they're making. Like just look at the Green Goblin. He's in a big suit of armor. Like he still looks like he still has like big yellow eyes. But if you compare him to the comics, he looks really different. And I was even thinking about how like Spider-Man has his web shooter, and it's an organic web shooter. When the comics, Peter Parker's a really smart guy, and I think I even saw one page where Reed's talking about Peter and how like, wow, if this guy didn't grow up poor and have this shitty life circumstance, he could have been shoulder to shoulder with me in the field of science. Reed fucking Richards, right? And that's an interesting story to tell, as someone who is really smart and talented, but due to social circumstances isn't able to let that talent shine. Like he came up with his, developed the web shooter, but it ended up like, he couldn't become a full on scientist, right? Where the Sam Raimi's Spider-Man trilogy is like, it's just an organic web shooter, so that aspect of the character isn't there, and I think both are interesting stories to tell, but obviously I feel like the movies weren't really concerned with that angle of Spider-Man, right? And him just having the organic web shooter, just people still apparently comic fans were mad about that at the time, but you know, it's those movies are still good and beloved, right? So it's I just like I understand because I again at the end of the day I just want good stories, and I feel like because the other thing that's interesting about Marvel is because I feel like nowadays they're maybe being more comic booky, but also even though superheroes are so popular, the over like I feel like MODOK in Ant-Man Quantumania, Ant-Man and the Wasp Quantumania, he's literally just a human face stretched across a giant like disproportioned man, right? Like the colors aren't there, but he's more of a goofy comic book character than like anything in the MCU, and people fucking hate it. I think it's disgusting, but it's also kind of funny to me because people hate it. Like it's just such a bad. It's so weird, and like She-Hulk, I remember people had problems with it, but apparently like the way she just like resolved the conflict in a minute way is apparently comic book accurate. Maybe not that. I don't know. I see. I would have to do research into these characters and the complaints people have, because and just like you know, because again, I really don't like how Marvel will literally just change the comics to be more like the movies. Because like whether like I remember Ajax in Eternals was a guy in the comics, but the movie decided to use a female character, so the comics made Ajax female, and it's like okay, like let the comics be comics, let the you know adapt and let the comics be like because part of what I like about comics is because you can have different authors taking these different takes on the characters and doing all these interesting things with them. So the idea of so like movies being able to do their own thing is cool, but just having the comics then following in the path of the movies isn't inherently interesting, I guess. But I don't know. It's a whole. I don't know. It's just. I was just like. I was just thinking about that as like, is this a topic I really want to tackle? Because it would be really big. But it's a thought. But anyway, that's video ideas, and this is not a stream for video ideas. Yeah, we're gonna call it though. So yeah, thanks everybody for coming. You know, yeah, we did it. We did chapter 1 of Danganronpa. Dang it, Grandpa. Dangan, our thing. So yeah. Have a good thanks everyone who stopped by, and we'll next I'm aiming for Wednesday. It might not be Wednesday, it might be next Friday, we will see. But yeah, I'm still gonna try and do it once a week. So yeah, have a good one everybody.